it's the shit.
Right one?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't understand what that means. I don't understand.
I don't either.
I guess it's the same guy that's selling you the chinuch sets with Lulav and Esrig, right? Yeah.
Listen, they all sell the little 10 pieces of chametz wrapped in plastic, pre-wrapped in plastic. So they're all usher.
What's wrong with that?
Oh, here's a guy. He probably puts it out on his.
You definitely have some yichus issues if you're buying stuff you can't use.
I didn't say I do it.
You guys also sell? Do you sell salt water before Pesach?
We do not. We do not. We make our own. We do not sell it.
You don't sell salt water. It doesn't Gourmet Glad sell salt water before Pesach?
Yes.
Gourmet Glad sells everything, so I don't know.
Seasons.
But you know what?
They sell cut up. They sell cut up pieces of meat for a salad. Let's say you want a meat salad. They cut up little pieces of meat and charge 3 times the price. Gourmet Glad.
I promise you, they're only selling stuff because people are buying it.
I guess, yeah, that's true.
Wait by Aaron's.
If nobody bought it, they wouldn't do it again.
Once the Bukharians over there find out that someone sells salt water, they'll start selling it by you also.
I'm happy to sell it. I'll sell anything to make money.
Yeah.
Now you're Jewish. Now you redeemed your Jew card.
There you go. Okay, ready to roll?
Well, now I'm happy.
Okay, so Chesam and Beis on the bottom. Yeah, we left off Chesam and Beis on the bottom. Right? So again, what we were discussing is what happens if somebody puts the korah, the beam, outside of the mavui, right? Meaning, so we said, using this again, my good old wood blocks as a thing. This would be a side view. This would be a side view. So let's say this is the end of this one is the wall of the mavui, and this is the korah. So the korah is on the side. So can you carry? Does this korah work or not? So we said that before the machlokes was, let's say the korah is in the proper spot, which is over the wall. Can you carry under it, right? Can you carry under it or not? So we said the last shot that we had said is that it depends. If you look at this like it's a mechitza, so if this part, again, the mavi is here. So if you look at this part, that's the mechitza, then obviously you can't carry under here. But if you say this part is the mechitza, the outside, then you could carry under there, right? So now we're saying that when you put it like this, then the sheet is reverse. Because if you say that the wall, the mechitza is down from here, so then you would be allowed to carry, then this would be a kosher mavi. Why? Because the mechitza is right here up against the fence, right? But if you say that the outer side is the mechitza, so now you have a space in between. Let's say this is a tefach wide, so now you have a tefach space between the wall of the mechitza here and this mechitza, in which case the korah is not properly placed, right? I hope that's clear, right? So that's why the opinions swap. The mandover that says when it's on top says that you're allowed to carry only up till here and not under. So when it goes to here, he's going to hold that the mechitza is right up against the fence and it's good enough. But the mandover that says when it's on top that you are allowed to carry under here. Why? Because the mechitza is on this part. So then when you drop the korah down to the side, now you hear the mechitza is on the outside, which means that right there's a space between the end of the mavi, which is right here, this brick, and right here. So then you would not be able to carry. So that's what the Gemara had said. All right, so that's what we left.
Isn't the korah so small anyway that I'm saying why is it?
No, it has to be a tefach wide. It has to be a tefach wide. Right, so that tefach of space you're gonna have. If you say it's the outer edge of it, then that tefach is gonna be. You're gonna have a space of a tefach. It's not gonna be up against the mavi wall. So Esvei, in the bottom line, Esvei Rada Barmasta l'Rabba. So Ravada Barmasta asked the kasha to Rava, "How's korasa in meshucha? If his beam was meshucha oitluya, what does that mean? Meaning it was mashuk means pulled. So if it was far away from the wall, oitluya, or it was hanging. Now, so what the poskim say hanging, what Rashi says that basically tluya means is that you have the two walls. Again, you have the two walls of the. Does art school have a chart with this? I think they do. You have the two walls of the mechitza right here, and then you have a korah that's dangling in the middle. It's on its own individual pole, dangling in the middle, and it's not touching. That korah is not touching the ends in the mechitzas, right? That's the case, yeah? So pachas, right, so pachas migimel ain't tzarich lahavi korah acheres. If it's within 3 tvachim, then you don't need to bring another beam. Gimel tzarich lahavi korah acheres. But if that thing is more than 3 feet away, 3 tvachim away, then you're going to have to bring another beam. If it's less than 4, you don't have to bring another korah, but Dalid tzarich lavi korah acheres, because Rav Shimon Gamliel's shita, we'll see this again at the bottom of it. Rav Shimon Gamliel's shita is that Lavid is 4 tvachim. Right? We even have a machlekes about that, whether Lavid is 3 tvachim or Lavid is 4 tvachim. But either way, so again, so those are the two cases. But the point is that the korah, the beam, is a distance a little bit away from the wall. So my la meshucha mi b'chutz v'tzluya b'mifnim. Meshucha must mean pulled out, outside the mavli, right? The tluya mi b'fnim, and the one hanging is on the inside. Yet we see if it's only if it's within 3 tvachim, right? Yeah, meaning, but it's allowed. If it's within 3 tvachim, then it's allowed, even though the beam is not right up against the fence. We just got finished saying that if it's not up against the fences of the mavli, it's no good, right? And here clearly the Gemara is saying that it is good. Yeah, so the Gemara says, no, they're both talking about where they're inside. Yeah. What meshucha means is that it's only being pulled from one side, right, that's one case. Meshucha meruach achas means it's pulled away from the wall on one side, and that's it. And where it's hanging is from the 2 sides, meaning, just to use this example again, so here's the wall of the mavui, right? Here's that wall. So what we're saying is that it's hanging on one side of the wall, right? This is the way it looks. These are the ends. The 2 on the side, the two vertical ones are the ends of the walls of the mavui, and this is the beam. So the beam is resting on one wall, not on the other. That's the first case. That's meshucha meruach achas. And tluya mishtei ruchos is that where it's hanging, right? Where it's hanging on both sides. The same meruach achas amrinon lavud mishtei ruchos le'amrinon lavud. So from both sides, from one side you would say lavud, meaning as long as the end of the beam is within 3 tvachim of the fence, then you're going to be okay. But if it's going to need lavud on both sides, then it's not going to be okay. So mishtei ruchas lo yamrinon lavud, from both sides we don't say lavud. So kamash malan that we say lavud from both, right? What was you posted the picture, right? Somebody posted the picture, right? Of exactly what we're talking about. Fine. Ravashi Amar meshucha v'yitluya. This is a very interesting case here that actually has a lot of practical ramifications of the sukkah. Ravashi says it's meshucha and it's tluya. Meaning, how could it be pulled away from the wall and it's also hanging? What's the case? Right, so if you look at Rashi, Rashi has his own diagram. Yeah? See Rashi's diagram? So basically, you have Shanot Shtei Yiseidus, you took 2 nails, right? Akumos al Shtei Koslei Mavui that are rounded on the 2 walls of the Mavui. Shein B'Goyim and Gimel, they're not 3 tvachim high. Ve'ein ba'akmumis on Gimel, and they're not rounded off 3 either, meaning so they're within 3 of the top of the fences and they're within 3 of the sides. Yeah, you see the case in the Rashi? Or Art Scroll? Art Scroll is probably a more clear thing. Yeah, that one, right? You got it. So basically, this beam is above the fence and also in the middle. So it's more than 3 tvachim. Well, you just posted it. Okay, it's on the. If anybody doesn't have it, it's on the chat. Thank you. Right. So. Mao the same. I love it. We either say loved or chavot. Chavot is basically you say You have a flat thing that you have a flat board. You look at it like it's goes straight down. I think we discussed it once before. But basically, let's say you have a skylight. Right? You have a skylight over your house, and it doesn't have the glass on there, obviously, right? And then above the skylight, you have a flat board. Yeah, and now you have a mace in the house. So what do we say? We say chavut rami, and we say we look at that board as if it's resting right down on top of your skylight, and we look at it like it's totally enclosed. So we say the same thing here. We're going to look at that beam as if it drops down to the level of the fence, or all the way to the ground, and we're also going to say lavud, right? Because again, this korah, this beam, is not long enough to rest itself on each one of the fences. So basically, we have to say two halacha l'moshe mesinas. We have to say that it's chavut, that it's dropped down. We also have to say that it's resting on the fence, right? So now the same, I lavud amrina, I chavut amrina. Either we say lavud, or we say chavut, lavud v'chavut lo amrina, but we don't say a combination of lavud and chavut. Kamash malan that we do. Yeah. So that's basically the chiddush here. Right now, I'll tell you where this comes in. This is basically taking two halacha l'moshe mesinas, right? That you're dropping, again, I'm just using this as an example, you're dropping this down on top of the fences, and then you're also, it's going to have to be lavud. So you're using two. Yeah? The poskim are not so happy with using two lavuds. There were two halacha l'moshe mesinas. It's very negay where somebody has his sukkah the wall doesn't go all the way up to the schach, right? And then the schach doesn't make it all the way over the wall. So you're using either a doifen akuma together with a lavud, or you're using kurasik together with a lavud. Right? It's a big issue in Hilchos Sukkah whether you should use that combination or not. From this Gemara's mashma, that you do combine two of them to say. Okay, so fine.
So just because you do it here, I'm saying because they allow you to do it here, so you can do it whenever you want. Two halacha l'moshe mesinas.
Two halacha l'moshe mesinas.
I'm saying because they allow it here, so we say by sukkah it's okay.
What do you mean? You're saying why? I mean, they're allowing it, so by sukkah we should allow it too. Is what you're saying?
I'm saying why is that? I'm saying why do we say that? Just because we allow it here?
I'm not sure what you're asking.
I'm not so sure either. Then okay.
No, you're saying like why?
He wants to know how do you learn out from the Shabbos to Sukkah? Who says you could learn it out to another place? That's what. And
Hanami in the Mishnah Brura, the Mishnah Brura is really not so happy with taking two halacha l'moshe mesinas by Sukkah and combining them. He really is not so happy. There's a Ran that says that you can't combine them. Then there's a Rabbi Akiva Eiger on the Ran. Right? The Ran in Sukkah says you cannot combine two halacha l'moshe mesinas, which seemingly the Gemara seems to be doing here. Even though when you think about it, the question is why does the Gemara even need two halacha l'moshe mesinas? It's a big tumult in the Paiskim over there. But lechatchila and Chanami, we don't want to say two halacha l'moshe mesinas. Yeah, okay, very good. So,
and he's asking, it's even more because they're being misaken and din d'Rabbanan here.
You mean, and by Sukkah it's more of a deraisa. So maybe Taka. Yeah. So maybe Taka. That's why maybe it's more machmer here. Here we're more mako. Maybe. Hi here. Okay, so Tani Rav Zakkai Kamed Rav Yochanan Bein l'chayayim v'tachas hakayr nidon kekarmelis. Between l'chayayim. Now again, we said it doesn't mean l'chayayim plural. It means singular. V'tachas hakayr nidon kekarmelis. We look at it like a karmelis. So meaning, Rav Zakkai is saying in the shame of Rav Yochanan that you are not allowed to carry under the beam, right? Going back to the sugya that we started off with, that you're not allowed to carry under the beam, and you're not allowed to carry between the lechis. And we look at it like a karmelis, which you know a karmelis is also midrabanan to carry. So I'm like, puk tani lebra, go take it outside, right? This is a phrase we had before. In Shabbos we had it, go puk tani lebra, take your memra outside, meaning it is not, it's not accurate. Don't teach this. Rav Yochanan, who threw him out, didn't throw him out or told him to take it outside, he's right, but under the korah because he holds that you're allowed to carry under the beam. But bein l'chayayin, it would be also to carry, which is what we said yesterday in the bottom of the Amud of Chesam base. Rava Amar bein l'chayim nami mutar. And Rava says he's even more mekel. He says even between the chayayim, it's mutar. Amar Rava, Allah. How do I know this? The chiyasar of Dimi Amar Rav Yochanan, right? Rav Dimi came and said b'shem Rav Yochanan makom shein by dalad al dalad. Mutar levnei rishus harabim v'nei rishus hayachal lekasev elav u'vad shelo yachlifu. Right. So this is an interesting din, another din that's been forgotten from Klal Yisrael because everybody has Eruvin. Right? But if you have something that doesn't have 4 tvachim by 4 tvachim, yeah. So makom she'ein by dalid. You know, can you go inside and handle it with his buggy? Yeah. Yeah, sorry about that. And a Stein grandchild is walking around with 2 lighters lighting things up, and he's about 5 years old. So, yes, in case anybody interested in know what's going on. Okay. I'm glad I'm busy. Yeah. So, Amar Rava, the chiyasar of Dimi Amar Rabbi Yochanan, makom she'ein by dalad al dalad, mutar levnei rishus harabim, for the rishus hayachil lekasev elav. So, if you have a makom that's 4 tvachim by 4 tvachim, the Bnei Rishus Harabim can take their stuff and rest it there on Shabbos, and the Bnei Rishus Hayachid could put the stuff down on it also. As long as they don't pull a scam, and the Rishus Harabim guy takes the thing from the Makom Patur, and the Rishus Hayachid guy takes the Rishus Harabim. Again, this is only called the Makom Patur, which is if you have something in a Rishus Harabim that's 4 tvachim by 4 tvachim, and we're going to see later that it's at least 3 tvachim high. So that's called the Makom Patur. Right? So that's called the Makom Patur. So since it's a Makom Patur, you're allowed to take things in Rishus Harabim and put it down. Now the question is, how do you know that you could? What do you mean? You're carrying in Rishus Harabim, you're putting it down to rest. You're not allowed to carry Rishus Harabim, right? It just means that if you're moving something within Daled Amos of Rishus Harabim, then it's okay. Right? But whatever it is, the Gemara is saying that if you have a place that's 4 by 4, 4 tvachim by 4 tvachim, then you're allowed to put things down from the Rishus Harabim on it. Right? So 1 second. So therefore, what do you see? That's a place that's 4 tvachim by 4 tvachim is considered something considerable, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's Vabaya. What about Abaya? What's he going to do with this? Hasam b'gvaya good Gimel. There it's Gimel. So therefore, that's why it's considered its own thing. But if it's a place that's less than less than 4 tvachim, then it's not going to be. Then he would say that it's going to retain its status of the Carmelist you wouldn't be able to carry there again. So Rav Dimi, you're saying with Shem Rabbi Yochanan that if it doesn't have 4 by 4, so it's a makom patur, right? And therefore you'd be able to carry this. So therefore within the lechis would be the same thing, right? And Abai says no. There it's talking about where it's Gavaya Gimel. So Amar Abai Minah Abai says, where do I know it from? Right? That under a korah you would be able to carry, but within the width of the lechi, you're not allowed to carry. The Amar Rav Chama Bar Guria, Amar Rav, Toicha Pesach Tzarech Lechi Acher Latira. We said that if you have a doorway to the mavui, then you're going to need another lechi to be materit. Yeah. So what do you see that you're not? Why do you need another lechi? Why do you need another lechi? Therefore, right? Elamai, you need another lechi to allow you to carry in between the two mechitzas that are under the mavi. So the Gemara says v'chitem it is pei daled al daled, and if you're going to say no, that's only in the talking about where there was 4 tvachim, like 4 tvachim. Amar Rav Chana Bar Rav, Amar Rav Toicha Pesach, Avvi she'ema daled al daled tzarech lechi achal latira. Right? Rav Chanan Bar Rav says no. Even he says beferish. Even if there's no 4 tvachim by 4 tvachim in the doorway of the mavui, it's still going to be okay. You're still going to need another lechi to be matir. Rava also the besuach lekarmelis. That's a very interesting din. And Rav is answering. He's saying there it's talking about when it's opening to a karmelis. When a karmelis again is no man's land. The karmelis is somewhere between Rishus Harabim and Rishus Hayachid. So he's saying when the mavui opens to a karmelis, then we're scared that you're going to carry. So the Gemara says, immediately asks the Kasha, obvious question, I was just a rabbin, my shari, but to open up from a mavi to Rishus Harabim it would be mutter to carry there. Meaning, basically, what the Gemara is saying that a Carmelis off of a Mavui is more strict than a Rosh Hashanah off of a Mavui. Right? So Gemara says, Yitziva ba'ara v'giyar b'shmei shemaya. That's the Yitziva means the local person. He's going to be on the ground, and the giyara and the ger, the visitor, is going to be in the shemayim. Meaning, it's a phrase that we're using, that you're saying that the local person should have more power than the guest, right? So what are you saying? That the Carmelis is going to have more power than Rosh Hashanah? That doesn't make any sense. We're more concerned from carrying from a Mavi to Rosh Hashanah than from a Mavi to a Carmelis. And you're asering carrying from a Mavi to a Carmelis more than you're asering from a Mavi to Rosh Hashanah. It doesn't make sense. So Gemara says that matzah minas minoi v'niyur. It's one type is going to find another type v'niyur, and it's going to make it. Niyur means it's going to wake it up, right? Which is usually a rule that's used in Hilchos Kashrus, that when you have two different types of foods that get mixed in with a different type, so we say matzah minas minoi, right? Well, also people, we say in the shidduchim, you have a couple that for some reason you say, like, I wonder what is the deal with this couple. They both seem to be do the same strange things. You say, yeah, it's matzah minas minoi. One type found the other type, right? So that's what we're saying here, that a Carmelis is very similar to a Mavi because they're both the Rabbanans. So when they combine, together, then we're more scared than when it's just a Mavi to Rosh Hashanah. Fine, thank you. Okay, so I hope the Olam is following this. It's not such easy Gemara. So in Amalei Rav Huna Brei the Rav Yeshua Rava. So Rav Huna Brei Yeshua said to Rava, "Ba'at like Tizbra the Bein Lechayai and Asur. Do you Rava not hold that in between the lechis is Asur? V'Amar Rava Barachana Rav Yochanan. Mavi, this is an interesting case also. I don't know exactly why anybody would do this, but Mavi Sheratzbu B'Lechayayin Pachas Midaler. Let's say. If you could post this picture also for those that don't have the article, but you need the article for this one. Yeah. So basically you have a Mavli and you have these lechis running along one wall. Each lechi is less than 4 tfachim from each other. Thank you. That is going to come to the machlokes of Shimon Gamliel Rabbanan. Meaning, Rosh Gamliel is the one that says that Lavud is 4 tfachim, and the Rabbanan say Lavud is only 3 tfachim. So again, what the person did, basically, for those that don't have it or didn't look, so within the Mavui, they put a beam, and then another beam, and then another beam, all of them less than 4 tfachim away from each other. But the Gemara is thinking now, less than 3 amas. So Rosh Gamliel Lavud. According to Rav Shimon Gamliel, that says lavud mishtamish ad chudai hapnimi shelechi. Since they say lavud, so therefore we say you're going to say that all these lechis combine because they're all within 4 tefachim. So again, Rav Shimon Gamliel lavud mishtamish ad chudai hapnimi shelechi hapnimi. You're allowed to carry up until the corner of the inner lechi. Yeah, so you'd be able to carry up until there. Yeah? Lost the place. The inner part of the lechi. Right? The Rabbanon, the Amri Lo Yamrin on Lavud, according to Rabbanon, who don't say Lavud, Mishtamash Ad Chudei Pnimi Shel Chitza, you're allowed to even go up to the inner one of the outermost lechi. Aval Bein Lechayayin the Kuli Alma Aser. But whatever it is, according to everybody, between the lechis is Aser. Basically, again, it's similar to what we said before. I don't know if anybody can look on the chat. Look on the chat now. You have the pictures, or if you have the art scroll. Yeah. So basically, what we're saying is that according to Rav Shimon Gamliel, that he says lavud, you're allowed to use only up until the inner one, right? Because that whole thing combines to be one big lechi. Since he says lavud, so you're only allowed up until the lechi. According to Rabbanan that don't say lavud, so those first few lechis that are in the picture. I mean, the Gemara this has a pretty good picture. Right, you're allowed to carry. It looks like a piano into the Gemara over there. So you're allowed, according to Rabbanon, you'd be allowed to carry up until the last one, because the first few don't make any difference since they're more than four tefachim away from each other. They don't combine to be one big lechi, right? But whatever it is, according to both of them, you're not allowed to carry once you hit the outermost lechi. However, you're going to calculate it. Whether you calculate all four of those or five of those as one lechi, or you just count the outside. But according to everybody, you're not allowed to carry in between the lechis, right? Everybody holds it's also.
See, what's a lechi supposed to accomplish? A korah is it's a machlokes what it is. What's a lechi supposed to be for?
So that's also a shaila. That's all. But Pasha says it's also a hecker.
So if it's in the middle of the movie, it could be the hecker for anything. For what's it a hecker for?
No, you're supposed to put it at the edge of the movie.
But this guy didn't.
I don't be honest. I have no idea.
He hung up his belt. It's like
you're correct.
And also,
I have
if there's no width to it, it could be any shear. What kind of hecker is it?
Right. So it's in the middle of it's like hanging up like a
but
belt
he's asking.
But if it could be a piece of tape also, or a piece of paint,
I understand that. So I'm asking.
And how could it be? What's the hecker?
You're asking about. You're just strengthening what I'm asking.
Right. Exactly.
You're saying so it's not a hecker. So it's the lechi's not a hecker.
It's 3 feet from the end of the movie.
Yeah. We're going to see later on in the Gemara, later on in the Masechta, what the lechi is. But I have no idea. Why is this guy doing this? Why is he putting lechis like that? I don't know. I didn't come across any.
He might be related. You missed it. He might be related to the fellow who owns the UPS drop-off store. That's why he's doing it.
He has no reason. He's just a nice guy. He's giving money to Home Depot to put up lechis.
Right.
Okay. Exactly. I have no idea. Did anybody come across why would a guy put 5 lechis there?
Maybe it's a design. Maybe it's a design, and he uses one of them for a lechi.
Simon's going to Google it.
Exactly. This is an architectural element.
Okay.
What does it matter? What does it matter? The Gemara always does that.
It's like an element.
What? The Gemara always
Hypothetical. He's saying.
It's not the Gemara. No, this guy did this for whatever reason. Okay, well, I don't know. I don't know why.
If the guy made Almal to us.
I'm saying what there's not. What you think? That's what he's doing.
Almal to us, right?
That's what you call this? This is more of an Almaltera?
Maybe.
You wanted to get in the Gemara.
I hear. No,
First of all, if he put them 4 tefachim away from each other, maybe he thought that they weren't going to be together, and you can go to the last one. That's the point. Maybe that's why he did it.
Or maybe, but Lamaisa, right? Okay, I hear that. But Lamaisa, so what we're saying is that it's a machlokes of which one of those lechis you'd be able to carry up until. But the bottom line is that according to all opinions, you're not allowed to carry whichever lechi you're going to say is considered the lechi that's allowing you to carry in the mavi. According to both opinions, you are not allowed to carry in between the lechi and the wall. Right? How are you getting to the lechi? No, only stuff that's inside there. Right? So whatever it is, a kasha on Rava. So Gemara answers the same.
Why wouldn't that be the machlokes we had before, what we started today with and ended yesterday?
Exactly right. So that's exactly right. So that's what we're asking a kasha on Rava. But Rava is saying that you would be able to carry in between the lechis, and here clearly there's 2 Tanoim who are having a machlokes of which part is considered the lechi. But according to both of them, you cannot carry on the side of that lechi. You can only carry up until the lechi. So it's a kasha on Rava, right? So then Rava says the same time as we said before. Rava hasam nami to pasuach lekarmelis. There it's talking about where it's open to a karmelis. That's why we don't allow you to carry by the lechi. But if the mavi would be open to a shus harabim, then we would allow you to carry. So Gemara says the same question of shus harabim mai shari, but to go to a shus harabim is going to be mutter. Yatziva ba'ara v'giyar b'shmei shmaya is the what do you call it? The how do you call it? The yatziva? The local person is on the ground, and the guest and the visitor is up in the sky. Meaning the sky is a better spot than on the ground. And you're saying that the Carmelists, we're going to be stricter by Carmelists than we are by Rosh Hashanah. It's much worse to carry from a Mavi to Rosh Hashanah than from a Mavi to a Carmelist. So Gemara says, in Matzah Minas Mina V'Niyar, one min found the other min and it woke it up. Meaning, again, like we said before, that when it's a Mavi, which is the Rabbanon, together with a Carmelist, which is the Rabbanon, so therefore it wakes up the Chumrah. The two of them together cause more. Well, we're afraid are going to cause more problems. Okay, however you understand that, fine. So Rav Ashi says, right, that we're talking about that he's saying really Rav Ashi is going to say that it's really mutter. The Rav Yochanan would say it's mutter, yeah. But it's talking about where they put these lechayim less than 4 to each other. The meshach arba amas, but it's at the length of 4 amas. Till now we were saying that these lechis that we had in the picture, one after the next, that's talking about was less than 4 amas. Now Rav Ashi is saying it's talking about where it went to 4 amas. So again, they were I don't know how many lechis would end up being. But there's lechis every 4 tfachim for a length of 4 amas. So Rav Shimon Gamliel Damar Amrina Lavud Havalei Mavui, it's an independent mavui, right? Because like we discussed, an arba amas, 4 amas of length, is considered in itself a mavui. So according to Rav Shimon Gamliel, this area of the lechis is its own individual mavui. Right? Again, Rav Shimon Gamliel Damar Amrina Lavud Havalei Mavui, it's a mavui tzarich lechi acher la'atiroi. And now, because it's its own independent mavui, you're going to need an additional lechi at the outside of it. But according to Rabbanan, don't say lavud lo tzarich lechi acher la'atiroi. You don't need another lechi to allow it because it's not an independent mavui and it's all part of the mavui. Yeah. So basically, he's saying that this machlokes has nothing to do with carrying within the lechi or not. It's just a matter of do you need a new lechi on the outside, right? So then the Gemara says, Rav Shimon Gamliel, lahavi kenirah mi b'chutz v'shavim mi b'fnim. Right, we discussed this the other day. According to Rav Shimon Gamliel, why isn't it that it's going to be you can see it from the outside, but on the inside it's equal? Yeah, meaning why? Because when you have to put a lechi on the outside of a mavui, you're going to stick it out a little bit into the Rishus HaRabim, right? And so that at least it'll be seen. But the bottom line is the people on the inside are not going to see it. So is that going to work? So it seems like the Gemara is saying that that's not going to work. Again, only it's people on the outside are going to see that there's a lechi there. The people on the inside are just going to see a board against the fence. They're not going to know that it's an extension. So the Gemara says, "Midihu time el Rabbi Yochanan." This thing is going according to Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan holds that if you could see it on the outside, even though it's on the inside, it's equal, and you can't actually see the lechi sticking out. It doesn't have a din of lechi, right? Yeah. So therefore, it's not a problem because it's Rabbi Yochanan l'shitase, right? Yeah. Fine. Okay. So Itmar.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm missing something. What's the point of all this?
Not bad. If you're only missing one thing, it's not bad, Simon.
Well, no, I'm missing everything. I mean, the truth. This is
especially what Simon has been going through for the last 5 minutes.
I
you saw what his kid was doing to him.
Is all this to make a tzuras Pesach, and then tzuras Pesach, and then we're dealing with it as if it's a door, so that we can have an understanding of.
Well, right now we're not doing tzuras Pesach. Right now we're talking about. Tzuras Pesach is coming on the next block, but right now we're just talking about putting a korah there. It's not a Tzuras Pesach. It's just putting a beam there and finished.
Yeah, but that's the beginning of building a doorway. Yeah.
True. Yes, but you don't need to have a doorway. When you have that beam, you don't need to have a doorway.
No, but
the beam is enough.
No, yeah, the beam, but again, I'm not saying you need a door there or whatever, but I'm saying to go into this to make this you're basically making it what would effectively be an enclosed area without the doors, right? So you're making so you can carry inside that mavoi, yeah?
Right.
So that's all we're talking about is how do we make it into how do we make the mavoi into a place that you can carry, right?
Correct.
Okay.
That's exactly what we're doing.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. Anyways. Good. So anyway, so what we're saying here is that, again, the Gemara wanted to say that so you're going to need another lechi on the outside of this, according to Shimon Gamliel. So the Gemara says, what do you mean? You're going to need, it's not going to be good enough because it's only going to be appearing on the outside. and not on the inside. To which we answered that Rabbi Yochanan does hold that he has no issue with that. So therefore, that it's going to you're not going to need an additional lechi in addition to that. Okay, so now the Gemara discusses this how do you call it? Nira b'fnim b'shavim b'chutz. So itmar nira mi b'fnim b'shavim b'chutz nidam b'shem lechi. If you can see it in the inside, and it's equal on the outside, right? This is the opposite of what we just said. On the inside, you could see the lechi. On the outside, you can't see the lechi. Nidam b'shem lechi, right? Near that's for sure considered a good lechi because the people on the inside could see it. We don't care so much about the people on the outside. Nira mi b'chutz v'shavim b'fnim. But if you can see it on the outside, but on the inside it's equal, Rab Chiya v'Rab Shimon b'Rebbe Chad Omar Nidan Mishum Lechi v'Chad Omar Ein Nidan Mishum Lechi. One says that it gets the status of a lechi, and one says that it doesn't get the status of a lechi. Right? Is there a chart for this? Do they have a chart for this? Do they? Is that it? I don't know. I think it's footnote 8 in your article, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, it's whether the lechi sticks out into the Rishus Harabim or not. That's the machlek. So this time, so the Gemara doesn't say who says what. It just says that one holds that it's okay, one holds that it's not okay. So this time, the Rab Chiya hu da'amar nidam mishum lechi. Let's say that it's Rab Chiya is the one who says that it's a good lechi, right? Meaning if it's only seen on the outside and the inside it's thin, then it's still a good lechi. The Tani Rab Chiya kaisel shetzida yachid konas mechaveiroi. If you have a wall that one side of it is closer than the other side, whether you could see it on the outside and it's equal on the inside, or whether you could see it on the inside and on the outside it's flat, and it's because of a lechi. So this time, so you clearly see that Rab Chiya says that he doesn't differentiate, and as long as either the inside or the outside could see the lechi, then that's enough. Rav Yochanan did Rav Yochanan not hear this? Rav Yochanan must have heard about this brisa, and he heard about it, and he didn't go with it. Rav Chiya nami lo savilo. So Rav Chiya also doesn't. Rav Chiya nami lo savilo. Rav Chiya also doesn't hold of it. So hi my bishlam Rav Chiya lo savilo mishum hachi lo tanila. Good, very nice. Rav Yochanan heard about this brisa, didn't hold of it. Okay, so he didn't. So fine, but he didn't teach it. Rav Chiya nami lo savilo, right? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I went back. Hi my bishlam Rav Yochanan lo savilo mishum hachi lo tanila. Rav Yochanan didn't hold it as brisa, so therefore he didn't learn it. Rav Chiya he said lo savilo lama leila misne. If he didn't hold of it, so why did he teach it? Meaning, I think this is a pasha the kasha when we get the havamina. Again, we didn't know who said what, of whether we care that the lechi should be seen by the people on the inside or the outside. So we said, we don't know who says, well, there's a machlokes, Rab Chiya, Rab Shimon b'Rebbe, we don't know who says what. So then we brought a brisa, because Rab Chiya quoted a brisa, right? So clearly he quoted a brisa that there's no difference whether the people on the inside or the people on the outside could see it, it's always okay. So it must be that Reb Chiya holds it at brisa. So that clearly tells us Reb Chiya is the one that doesn't care about whether who sees the lechi or not. So then we said, okay, so Reb Yochanan also must have heard of this brisa, and he didn't hold of it. So maybe Reb Chiya also didn't hold of it. So Gemara is answering back, yeah, but Reb Chiya quotes it. Reb Yochanan never quoted this brisa, so we could very easily say he didn't hold of it. That's why he didn't quote it. Reb Chiya quoted it. How do you go say that Reb Chiya quoted a brisa, but he didn't hold of it? So why are you bringing it down? So it must be that Reb Chiya is the one that holds it. Okay, fine. So I don't understand the Gemara's havamina, why you would think Reb Chiya doesn't hold of it if he actually brings it down. Fine. Okay, let's go back to Amar Rav Rav Huna. So Rav Huna says if you could see it on the outside, but on the inside it's equal, right? It's flush, then it's considered a lechi. So Amar Rabba Umasmina Nashmaitzen. Rabba said, and we're going to ask from how do you call it? From a Mishnah later on. Chatzar ketana shenivtzu l'gedola. We had this yesterday also. If you have a chatzar, small chatzar that opens up into a big chatzar, gedola muteris or ketana asura, right? The large one is mutter and the small one is asur. Why? because it's like the doorway of the gedolah. Now again, let's. What do we have the other one? You have the small one, the small Lego. Lego. No, huh? Here. Got my assistant Moish over here. But anyway, so again, this is the big chutzner. There's a big chutzner right here, and then there's a small chutzner, right? The wall right here breaks. The wall right here breaks down. So we said that this chutzner you can't carry in because its entire wall is missing. But this chutzner you can carry in because this opening that's over here just looks at it. It's just looked at as an opening for this large chutzner. Correct? Yeah. So now we're going to say is that these right here should act as lechis for this small chutzner, right? Bottom line is this is a lechi. It could be seen from the outside. When somebody is looking at this chutzner, this one right here, from this angle, he's going to see a wall right here and a wall right here, which those walls should act as lechis for this chutzner. Oh, the people in the chutzner can't see it because the wall goes out that way. Right? So what? Bottom line is it's a lechi, and we're saying that we don't care about if the lechi can be seen from the people on the inside. Right? So that's what Gemara says. Again, where do we go to? I'm sorry. Omar Rabba. Umasvina Nashmaitz, and we're gonna ask from the Gemara. Chotzer katana shenivitz legedoyla. If you have a small chotzer.
They can't see it, so we should let them.
But it helps them. But you're saying, yeah, okay,
yeah.
Okay, I hear. Right, so chotzer katana shenivitz legedoyla. Gedoyla muteris katana asura. Mifnei she kepischa shel gedoyla. Because it's like the opening of the gedoyla. Vim isa, and if you're saying that we don't care about if you can see the lechi or not, katana nami tishtari, we should allow the small one too. But nira mi b'chutz v'shavi b'fnim. Because on the outside you could see it, on the inside you can't see it, but it should still be kosher because we said the people inside don't have to see the lechi. So Rav Zera ben Nechnasen koisle katana legedoyla. What's talking about where the walls of the small chutzner went into the large chutzner. So basically, using our example again, here's the large chutzner, here's the small chutzner, right? These walls right here, the yellow walls right here went out using this. It went out a little bit to here, right? So these walls extended to here. Therefore, these walls right here don't do anything. Because this yellow wall extends, let's say, halfway up to here. So now there's no lechi here because this wall went past this wall. Meaning, originally, if the wall ended right here, so this part of the fence, and this part of the fence would be a lechi for the small thing. That's what we're asking. But now that this yellow fence continues up to here and here, so now where's your lechi? Right? And then this wall broke down. So now where's your lechi? Right? There's no lechi. Right. Again, if the wall ended here, so this is your lechi, and even though you can't see it when you're inside here, but that should still be good. That's the kasha. Now we say no, but this wall extends all the way up to here. If it extends up to here, there's no lechi, right? Because the wall's back here. Meaning it basically looks like there's a chart in the art scrolls also.
Why can't you say Lovud extends it higher?
Why can you say what?
Lovud.
Lovud? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
That's exactly Gemara's next kasha. That's exactly Gemara's next kasha.
Because it's not a hektar?
The Gemara's going to answer. It's bigger than Lovud, but the Gemara's going to ask. That's the mamash next kasha. Very good. So Gemara says, "V'leima Lovud v'tishri." Why don't you say Lovud? Say Lovud, and it's mutter. Meaning again, if you have this big chutzner with the small chutzner, right, and the walls go out a little bit, as long as they go out less than 3 tfachim, so then it should connect to here, right? All this wall should connect to this wall, and then it should end up being exactly like a lechi because of Lovud. That's exactly what Gemara asks. V'leima Lovud, the tishtri. Why don't we say Lovud and matir it? If you're going to say no, the fence is way much further than 3. What does it mean? The katana is with 10 amas. Gedoyla ba'achas esrei. Gedoyla is with 11 amas. So 11 amas, and how many tvachim in an amma? Remember, that was the machlekes, right? Is it 5 or 6? Right. So if you have, it's 1 amma bigger and you split that amma equally, meaning you say this one is 11 ammas. That's why this example is no good, because this brick is a lot bigger than this Lego. But let's say this one is 11 ammas, this one is 10 ammas. So, and you split it equally, so it's going to be a half of an amma here, half an amma here. It's going to automatically be loved. So no, it's off center a little bit. We're talking about where it's off center. So this side you have 2, and this side you don't, right? So then Gemara says, okay, so what? Why don't you say good? So you say love it on one side, and it's going to be mutter, because all you need is one lechi, right? All you need is one lechi. But that's the thing, is that's a chotzer now. Right? All you need is one lechi. Till now, we've been talking about a mavi. So mavi needs one. But now we're talking about a chotzer, because this is a chotzer, not a mavi. Right? Again, this yellow thing is a chotzer. So now we're saying, okay, so go with the sheet that holds that for a chotzer, one lechi is enough. So then the Gemara is going to say, right, Rebbe, he damar bin and shnei pasin. No, it's going according to Rebbe, who holds you need 2 lechis. Pasin is another word for lechi. The Tanya, chotzer niteres bepas echad. A chotzer, you can only use 1 lechi. Rebbe Shnei Pasin, and Rebbe holds you need 2. So going according to Rebbe, that needs 2. So therefore, you're not going to have any kosher lechis here if it's off center, because you're only going to have 1 kosher lechi. Okay, that's enough for tonight. I know please hang in there. It was a little tough, this one, and the next time it's also shtickle tough, and then it gets a little easier after that. The next block,
I think
after that, it gets a little easier.
I think it's easy just not to carry on Shabbos.
What?
I think it's easy just not to carry on Shabbos.
I thought you were gonna say, I thought you were gonna say it's easier just not to go to shul on Shabbos. Then you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We have an Eruv. We have an Eruv.
You have an Eruv.
No, we don't. Have you been listening last time?
You got to get it to be kosher. That's the problem. You got to get that Eruv to be kosher. Yeah, 100%.
I understand to say lavud if we hold that the lechi is let's say mechitza, but if it's a hecker, then how are you having hecker with lavud?
Oh, that's a good question. That is a good question. The Paiskim actually discussed that. I don't remember now offhand who and what, but they do discuss that lavud pshat as a mechitza, or lavud is pshat in a hecker, right? Yeah, you're asking a good question. I wish I had it at the top of my head exactly what they answer, but I don't. But yes, that's an excellent question. Yeah. Anyways. All right. Fine. All right, good night, everybody.
Yeah,
have a good night. Thank you.
On the conversation from Morning Call, the first Eruv in Manhattan was 1905.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I found an article. I'll send you a link to it.
And were they pro or anti?
I think I'll send you the thing. What did they say? It was only in part of the what's it called? I don't think it was not the whole. It wasn't the whole Manhattan. I think it was just in the Lower East Side. And they were using. I think it was 3 out of the 4 walls were seawalls.
Oh, that makes sense. Sroel, you were discussing that. Sroel still on there?
No, but I'm saying I can't hear what's on.
Yeah.
Dr. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Dr. Henry Abramson on alldaf.org has all these historical tidbits, and he has an introduction on the history of Eruvin, including Manhattan, if anybody's interested.
Oh,
alldaf.org.
That special in that section on Alldaf about Eruvs?
I don't know. I think it was a historical section, but he gives little historical tidbits, but he has like an introduction about Eruvin, and of course there was controversy about that as well. But just one of those interesting.
Very good. Yeah, Belina, I'm going to check that. What's it, a video or it's what do you call it?
Video. Well, you have a video of him talking if you want to watch him talking.
Oh, yeah.
There are also very nice videos of all the discussions we're having here.
Okay, very nice. Okay, good.
Yeah. The other thing I think he said was that Ramesha wrote the first tshuva on Manhattan Eruv in 1952, which was before the Chazon Ish died.
Now you just talking.
What are you saying? Ramesha's tshuva was when?
They said the first tshuva that Ramesha wrote was in 1952. Which is before the Chazon Ish died.
Now you just talking.
I could be. Maybe I don't know. Does Reb Moshe? I don't even remember. I never even went through that tshuva. It's such a long tshuva that I never made it through. But does he bring the Chazon Ish? I don't even know. I can give you that homework. You could do that homework if you want.
I'll look. I'll tell you in the morning. No, I just think it would be interesting that no one, if the Chazon Ish would really be matir, that no one would have tracked down the Chazon Ish to get a tshuva.
Right. No, I hear that. 100%. I hear that.
I'll look at it. Is there only one? There's only one tshuva on Manhattan Erev? Or that one
No,
from
I think there's a
1952?
few. I think there's a few chuvas.
It's done.
Okay. I'm not promising. I'll try.
All right. Listen.
How many pages is it?
It's a lot. I brought it in the country. I got of one set of Sfarim I do have is a set of Vidus Moshe.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Thank you.
I'm going to check on out. All right. Have a good night, everybody.
See you later, Tiago.
Tigers.
All right.
We had a.
Are you there?
I'm here.
We having any outside minyan anymore, or you gave up?